I started The Edge of Everything and I feel like I'm being punished for something. If the author is trying to convey to the reader exactly what it's like to be stuck in hell, well, bravo!
It was bad. It sounded like it could be so good. It had a lot of things that we usually go for, but then...
I spent an eternity trying to get past page 100. I lived in hell for an eternity.
Give this one a miss. That's all there is to say.
Okay, I guess we should give you more information, but seriously, just take our words on this one.
The Edge of Everything follows Zoe and X. One is a girl from high school, the other is a bounty hunter from hell. Cool, right? It should be. It's not.
The two meet accidentally. Zoe loses track of her little brother Jonah during a snowstorm and ends up at the house of their murdered neighbors. You know, as you do. But their timing is unlucky because up the driveway comes their neighbor's killer who has been squatting in the house and has it out for their dogs.
When all looks grim and it looks like their dogs are about to be murdered, hope appears in the form of X, a prisoner slash bounty hunter from hell. He appears out of nowhere and starts playing the murderer's crimes on his back like a flat screen TV.
Keep in mind that he could show this guy his crimes on any surface, but he chooses to take off his shirt and use his back like a projector.
X is about to drag this guy straight down to hell, but one look from Zoe and he decides to spare the guy.
The rest of the story is X and Zoe's back and forth romance as X tries to deal with being a prisoner of hell even though his only crime was being born, and Zoe deals with the death of her father and being away from X.
I don't know where to start with this book. The characters, maybe? Zoe isn't like half developed or anything. She's determined, she's passably capable, you know, she has interests in stuff, and also she's dealing with the recent death of her father in a caving accident.
My problem with her is with her romance with X. Why the hell did she fall in love with him? She just decides that he's kind and sensitive and can sense pain, and decides that she's in love with him within 2 minutes of knowing him.
X, on the other hand, probably falls in love with Zoe because she's the first person to actually be nice to him. So basically, it's not about Zoe, it's about being in love with the idea of the outside world. She's just a stand-in.
Also, he doesn't have a name before Zoe gave him one. He's 16 or something. How did he go that long without getting a name? He has friends. He talks to his fellow prisoners. How the fuck?
Not to mention that Zoe decides to call him X until she comes up with something better. She never does. So basically, she just named him placeholder.
Another two major characters in this book are Zoe's brother, Jonah, and her mother, who never gets a name. Zoe's brother is having the hardest time getting over their father's untimely death. He's this sensitive, awkward kid with a big imagination.
My problem with him is that he reads like he's 4 when he's actually 8. He has no concept of how to take care of himself. He follows dogs into a raging blizzard. And oh yeah, he has zero concept of how to take care of himself.
Zoe's relationship with her brother is the small bright spot in this book because she loves him and does her best to help him through his grief.
Zoe's mother is fairly cool for a YA parent in that she does believe her kids when they tell her about the fantastical guy they met in the woods and protects X from the cops.
But still, she can't be that important because she never gets a name. I'm not dropping this one.
I have to say that my two favorite characters, and I use that word lightly, are X's two friends, Banger and Ripper. They have great backstories and sympathetic arcs considering that they were awful people when they were alive but have since reformed in hell and are now just stuck there forever. I mean, I feel more for those two than I do for anyone else in this book. If The Edge of Everything had been about them, it would have been 100 times better.
The writing in this book is a major problem because it feels like it was written by someone who's consumed way too much 80s media and has figured that contemporary vernacular hasn't changed much since then.
It was horrific, dog. No one speaks that hippy-dippy lingo anymore. It was not righteous, dude. It was awful and painful and made me question what year the book was set in, even though they have Instagram, so it's clearly current.
Speaking of failed world building, we learn absolutely nothing about the mysterious land of hell that X resides in and has resided in since he was born. We learn how there's this large contingent of lords in hell, but what's their job? How did they get their position? What do they do with their time? Nope, unimportant.
We also have prison guards. How did they get their job? No clue. We learn a little bit about the geography of hell, but we never go anywhere. All we see are the inside of a prison cell and the inside of a very large boardroom. Even the villains do not survive this book. One of them being Stan the Man, the murderer at the beginning of this book. Yeah, he bloody calls himself Stan the Man.
He comes off as way over the top, almost evil for the sake of being evil, who somehow also manages to be a goofy mofo. Stan the Man. He gave himself that nickname. I can't even.
So yeah, The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles. It's silly. It's a silly, silly, ridiculous book. Every once in a while there's a good moment or a cute sentiment, but it is dwarfed by all the strange choices, bizarre plot elements, and missing details.
I wanted to like The Edge of Everything, but this is a hard no for me. A hard no. Just why? Why, Doc? Why? Skip it, read something else, get back a few hours of your life. Just save yourself.
It's too late for me, it's not too late for you. Do not believe all the hype about this book is all we're saying.